So typically when a speaker does a talk, there's usually two experiences, there's two options. There's a jacuzzi experience and there's a pivotal experience. A jacuzzi experience is one in which you get in, the bubbles hit, it feels great while it's happening, but the following week, it has absolutely positively no impact on your life. On the other hand, there's something called a pivotal experience, and a pivotal experience is one in which, as a result of having it, a shift occurs and your life is never the same. Now, my wife and my 2 children are home right now, and I'm taking time away from them to be here with you right now, as some of you are taking time away from your families to be here right now. My intention today is to create a pivotal experience for you. So I'd like to begin by sharing a story. How many of you know who Harry Houdini was? For those of you who don't, Houdini was considered one of the greatest escape artists of all time, and in his era, there was a village that built a jailhouse. And this village made a statement saying that their jailhouse was escape-proof, that they had the latest and most modern technology, and so sure were they of this, they were willing to offer $10,000 to anyone who can escape. Houdini overhears this, and there are 2 things he loves, money and publicity. And both are available here, so he calls a press conference. And at this press conference, Houdini says, I will accept this challenge on 2 conditions. Number 1, I'm allowed to walk into the jailhouse unsearched. And number 2, that I'm left alone to escape because my methods of escape are proprietary to me. They're a secret. I don't want to disclose them to anyone. The villagers say we accept. And the day finally comes, the crowd gathers in the village square, and in walks Houdini dressed in a long black overcoat. He walks up to the podium, and much in the style of Muhammad Ali or Babe Ruth, who liked to predict the outcome of whatever their challenge was, Babe said the next pitch is going over that wall. Ali said, I'm going to knock him out in round 3. And Houdini says, not only will I escape, I'll do it in 45 minutes flat. The crowd goes wild. A uniformed guard walks up, grabs Houdini by the arm, escorts him into the jailhouse all the way down to the last jail cell on the left, places him inside, closes the door, and as agreed, leaves Houdini alone to attempt his escape. Now Houdini's inside the cell. The first thing he does is he opens up his coat, and he takes out his tools and he lays them on the bed in a very, very organized manner. And then he takes off his watch and he places his watch on the bed next to his tools because he knows that he has 45 minutes to escape. So his plan is that at 44.5 minutes, he's going to step out and shock everyone. He's ready to begin. And he bends over and he takes a good long look at that lock. And to his dismay, it is unlike any lock he had ever seen before. He couldn't quite figure out the mechanism for locking this particular lock. He takes one tool and he tries that one. He takes another tool and he tries that one, and he goes through a series of attempts to pick the lock. 20 minutes goes by, nothing. 30 minutes goes by, nothing. 40 minutes goes by. Now he's starting to get a little nervous. He only has 5 minutes to meet his deadline. 42, 44, 46, 48, 50. Finally, 52 minutes. He works himself up into such a panic that he collapses. He literally faints. He falls into the door, and the door just swings open. You see, the door was never locked, except where?
In his mind.
In Houdini's mind. And what I'm here to tell each and every one of you is that the most powerful jailer in the world is not out there. It's in here. So what I'd like you to do for the next 20 minutes or 25 minutes is to push the door of your mind open, to not be in the prison of limited beliefs, to not be in the prison of limited thinking, with all the people for your entire life who tell you don't bite off more than you can chew, don't try to be something you're not, who make you blend in with the crowd and settle for mediocrity. And mediocrity, in my estimation, is not a human experience. Mediocrity is a sub-human experience. But because of not understanding and applying what I'm about to talk about right now, most human beings wallow in mediocrity. Albert Einstein said you cannot resolve problems with the same level of thinking that existed when the problem was created. Think about that for your own business. Let me repeat that. You cannot resolve problems with the same level of thinking that existed when the problem was created. That's why you do a training with a new software system to create more lead generation for yourself. You create a system, S-Y-S-T-E-M. It's an acronym. Stands for save yourself, stress, time, energy, and money. And systems work very well when we apply them. So I'm going to talk about 2 things tonight, a new level of thinking about health. Look, everybody stand up for a second. If you know anyone that has cancer, sit down. So we just lost 99% of the room. If you know somebody that has diabetes, asthma, allergies, or digestive problems, sit down. Clearly, our healthcare system isn't working. Can we solve it with more drugs or more surgery? Of course not. Why? Because you cannot resolve problems with the same level of thinking that existed when the problem was created. What I'm going to do for the next 10 minutes is I'm going to demonstrate a new level of thinking about wellness, about health, and about human performance. Why? Because if Exit Realty adopted what I'm about to talk about right now, your team would corner the market. You would experience a level of physical and emotional fitness, which would transfer over into your business, because the truth of the matter is you are your business. There's no way to separate the two. They are complementary and proportional to one another. Your level of success out there directly proportional to your level of success in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my morning routine with you, my morning breakfast, a typical breakfast in my home that many members of our practice have utilized over the course of several years and have experienced profound results, transformative changes, spectacular increases in energy, physical and emotional vitality. And watch what happens to your business. So I'm going to introduce this, and this is on video. So no reason to have to try and pay attention and memorize what it is that I'm using. Here's a base of unsweetened almond milk. It's vanilla, it has no sugar. Everything that I'm using in this smoothie is designed to create a system that will allow you to think more clearly and experience physical energy and emotional clarity. And I'm going to ask you to please save your questions until the end. So we're going to throw a banana in here. By the way, the almond milk that I'm using has no carrageenan in it. Carrageenan is very common in non-dairy beverages. It's a thickener. It comes from seaweed, and unfortunately it's been known to lead to cancer in laboratory animals and has some deleterious side effects that make it questionable. So that's an ingredient you want to pay attention to. And almond milk, we'll go into almonds because I have some raw almonds. Here we're going to use raw cashews. Tremendous for the skin, the hair, and the nails. Mono-unsaturated fat. We're going to throw in some Wyman's wild blueberries. Anybody use these or seen these before? Wild blueberries, very high on the D.R.E.A.M scale. D.R.E.A.M is a measure of antioxidant capability, which means the ability of a food to combat what are known as free radicals. Free radicals don't make you think clearly. We're going to take some samples here too. I got sample cups for you. So who says, and it's not an art, you know, it's more of an art, not a science. So this is raw cacao, pure chocolate. Before we heat it and add cocoa butter to it and processed sugar to it, raw cacao, #1 antioxidant food, highest scoring food on the D.R.E.A.M scale, tremendous for magnesium, tremendous for hair, skin, and nails. Goji berries, the most nutrient-dense food on earth. In fact, when they interview the centenarians, which are people who live to be at least 100 years old, and they ask them what are the foods that you most commonly consume over the course of your life, goji berry is always on that list, grown in China and Tibet. We have some hemp seeds, and do not confuse this with the other type of hemp that you smoke. Hemp seeds, highest source, very, very high source of gamma-linolenic acid, a very important omega-6 fatty acid that almost every woman, every female is deficient in. This is bee pollen. Bee pollen, tremendous protein amino acid profile. And this will usually take me maybe 2 minutes in the morning to set this up. It doesn't take a long time. It just takes paying attention. This is called camu camu. Camu camu is a fruit from Peru. Yes. This is the food in the world that has the most amount of vitamin C by weight. 30 to 40 times the amount of vitamin C of an orange.
What's the name of it again?
Camu camu.
Camu camu, great stuff.
So a little sprinkle of camu camu.
Hardest thing to get out of Peru.
I also have some organic maca. Maca is a Peruvian root vegetable. It's a phytosterol, which decreases levels of cholesterol. It's also an adaptogen. An adaptogen is something that allows the nervous system to adapt to stress. It has tremendous endurance and energy capability. And some greens. Barley grass, wheatgrass, chlorella spirulina, which helps to create an alkaline environment in the body, thereby decreasing inflammation. It's also full of chlorophyll, which is very oxygenating to the body, creates an anti-inflammatory environment inside the body. So we have our little cocktail.
Would you put them in a half a packet?
Yeah, this is an individual serving. So initially, when somebody starts using greens, I always recommend less is more, so that you're getting your body familiar with the alkaline product. We could sprinkle a little extra in there for good measure. And this is a vegan protein. This is a sprouted rice protein. One of the only companies in the world that actually has a rice protein that's sprouted. By sprouting rice, you are opening up, making it much more bioavailable for the body to be able to use effectively. Add a little more milk. And people can use organic milk if they don't have a sensitivity to dairy. Dairy is always questionable. A lot of people are lactose intolerant. A lot of people have digestive challenges to dairy. So non-dairy beverages like coconut milk, rice milk, almond milk make a good alternative. Just look for that ingredient, carrageenan, in them. They also make sweetened versions of these milk. This is an unsweetened vanilla, but they do sweeten some of these non-dairy beverages with evaporated cane juice, otherwise known as sugar. If you're going with a sweetener, you're always better off with sugar than NutraSweet, aspartame, or any of the other creations that we've created, as they all are potent neurotoxins and strip the myelin sheath from the nerves in our body, thereby damaging our brain. Now this seemed like it took a long time because I'm talking my way through it.
No, the bacon would still be frying.
This is the type of smoothie in the morning that when you drink this, you're good for half the day. You don't nibble, you don't snack. There's more nutrition in a 16-ounce cup of what I just put into this blender than somebody probably takes in the course of a week.
And that's how much we should drink, approximately 16 ounces.
Yeah, 16 to 24 ounces. This will be crunchy because we used cacao nibs as opposed to cacao powder, and we used raw cashews rather than cashew butter. So raw cashew butter or raw almond butter is like jet fuel for the nervous system. So when you eat your nuts, you want to choose raw nuts, not roasted nuts, because roasted nuts are heated, thereby causing the beneficial fatty acids to become what's known as trans fatty acids, which are dangerous. Yeah, this isn't something that you would take right before you go to sleep, obviously. But you can mix and match. Usually the base might be the almond milk or coconut milk or rice milk with some blueberries and a banana. And then you choose one other mix-in, as opposed to drinking a full cup of too many different things that your body's not familiar with. So as your body becomes familiar with some of these foods, it begins to understand what to do with them. You have to create that memory within the body. In terms of performance, as in your business, leaving something like these ingredients in a blender in the back, since you have a kitchen, with some almond milk, it would take somebody 2 to 3 minutes prior to them running out and drinking something like this, whether it be in the morning or whether it be in the afternoon. But you'll find yourself not taking that mid-afternoon cat nap where your energy goes up if you start your morning with a cup of coffee and heavy cream and sugar. If you replace it with this, instead of getting that artificial obtainable energy, with this you get sustainable energy as opposed to obtainable energy. And with that increase in energy and emotional clarity, you're able to harness that power and be able to take that and be able to perform better when you are out there. Okay? So, dream smoothie, I refer to this as.